Uh, Welcome to News Stripped Down, where I dig through the news and weed out all the nonsense so you guys don't have to. 30 minutes or less? Why? Because anything longer than 30 minutes is probably just BS anyways. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Hit the like button, subscribe if you guys are just tuning in. And let's get into the news. Today is March 26th, 2026. The 2626. It's minus 14 degrees Celsius. That's 6.8 degrees Fahrenheit to you guys down in the States. Over to Canada news. LNG Canada is now in the lead for potential expansion to the coastal gas link pipeline in British Columbia. The plan will double the pipeline's capacity to support increased liquid natural gas shipments to other countries. Hey, Red, how's it going? And over to Middle East here, got a little bit of stuff here. So at the end of the day, Putin seems to be the real winner in this Trump's Iran war, as Russian oil is back on the map and people are taking Russian oil. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. You guys have been noticing, China and Russia have been pretty quiet lately over this conflict. Really, China and Russia are starting to reap the benefits. War is money, and now it's kind of bypassing Russia's, tariffs against them and some of these oil and gas sanctions. So a lot of countries are getting some free passes through China and Russia's sanctions. So good for Russia, I guess. Good for Trump. But let's see what's going to happen with this in the next couple months here. Because I don't know. I see Trump and Putin. I think they had some background discussions about this in the first place. I think there's been some back channeling in between the two of them because it's just way too quiet between China and Russia right now. Even Russia is telling the Iranian officials right now, be like, hey, you should probably take the deal. Whatever deal it is, you should probably take it. And for Russia to say that right now, obviously somebody's hand is in somebody's pocket here, and I don't know which is it which, or maybe both of them. And then over to China. China's Eastern Airlines is going with Airbus instead of Boeing's aircraft. The $15.8 billion deal comes with a significant discounted price. That made it favorable for the Chinese company for the Airbus's A320 Neos. This would be delivered between 2028 to 2032. Last year, Airbus secured orders for 148 A320 aircraft for several Chinese airlines and a state-run leasing group. I'm doing okay, Red. Besides like the basement and stuff flooding in the spring here, I'm doing okay. Might have to move though to another town though. So the wife has another job somewhere. Uh, And some interesting news. While everyone's watching what's happening in the Middle East, we're kind of like forgetting about what's happening, down in the States. Like a lot of media is not covering this stuff. Like as Iran's on fire, well, yeah, for the wildfires in Nebraska. Like this is insane. Why is the media not talking about this? There's over 800,000 acres destroyed of valuable grazing land for cattle. So yeah, expect the prices of beef to go up because now these cattle ranchers and some farmers right now pretty much devastated. Like yeah, fire is good for the environment, like to burn, fields and stuff. You always have a way bigger output again afterwards. That carbon is really good for the environment as long as it's in the soil. Like you burn grass, it comes up greener the next time. So this could be a good thing, but it's not good for the ranchers right now. Because yeah, they have nowhere to put their cattle, and they're trying to find alternative places to put them, and then water resources now. All the water resources are being used up to put these fires out. So they're already dealing with a drought problem right now. And with these wildfires, well, say bye bye to the rest of your fresh, clean water that's possibly potable. Yeah, Nebraska and Oregon, and nobody's talking about this right now. It's all Iran, 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 and this is why I do the news, because real stuff. And Hawaii has been hit with the worst flooding in 2 decades, sweeping cars and taking homes off of their foundations, leaving areas covered in thick red volcanic mud. Hundreds of homes, some schools, and a hospital have been damaged after heavy rain in the Big Island. And the Big Island is still under flash flood warnings. So, yeah, watch and warning. So, still predicted heavy rains to be hitting Hawaii here. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of sucks being on an island. You really have nowhere to go. I'm kind of glad I live on a place that's so vast. And over to Manitoba, Canada here. Premier Wob Canoe. Yes, that's his name. Wob. W-O-B. Wob. That's not a speech impediment. The wife thought I was making fun of him for the longest time until she found out that's what his name really was. She thought I was just making fun of this guy. So Wob Canoe is pulling the PST, that's a provincial sales tax on all groceries as of July 1st, while the GST was never charged on essential goods at grocery stores. Uh, so you won't have to pay PST now on pre-made foods, junk food, or pop. Yeah, figure that one out. And yes, this is a good and bad thing. While the low income families are more likely to buy junk food over healthier items, and with this being the start of seeing more cases of smaller businesses getting eaten up by big corporations, because these small businesses do not apply to this tax, the PST tax cut on food and goods. So corner stores, gas stations, vending machines, restaurants, takeout food will not be included on this PST cut. And which is crazy. This is just, yeah, one more step of getting rid of the middle class. Here, let's get rid of these small business owners by making the small businesses have to charge people PST. So now people won't go there because people are going to go to somewhere else to save the 7% tax instead of going to, your local corner store to, purchase whatever you needed to. And a lot of these little corner stores are in low income areas. So really what you're doing is you're kind of just forcing people to eat junk. And now you're going to see a rise in an increase in diabetes and other like related diseases that come with it. So like really is this PST on junk food really necessary to get rid of? Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like a lot of people are like, "Whoa, yeah, this is great. Now we don't have to pay that 7%." You're not thinking about the big picture. You're not thinking about the small businesses and you're not thinking about health concerns of people. The native people up here, the native communities, they'd rather buy chips and junk food for their kids than to go buy healthy foods for their kids. And now we're going to overwhelm the healthcare system here in Manitoba, which Wob Canoe says, oh, we're going to get some new doctors. Yes, we're getting doctors slowly. We still can't find nurses to work in the care homes or into the medical industry. Yeah, everything's super expensive. Uh, so yeah, I don't really see this being beneficial to anyone at the end of the day. It's just another reason to get rid of small, public or not public, privately owned businesses and let the bigger businesses take over. And let's just make people more sick. Because obviously, by getting rid of the PST on like junk food, people are gonna go for the cheaper junk food at the end of the day, and it just people aren't thinking. You guys need to wake up. And you think this PST savings is such a great thing? It's not. And you know what? The government's gonna get us sooner or later. Whether it's gonna be tax height increases on your homes or on your fuel costs, they'll find some way to tax that money back. So at the end of the day, us saving that 7% on like junk food and certain goods, pre-made foods like that, uh, they're gonna get their money sooner or later. Lobster's cheaper than beef these days. Please come to India. Maybe one day. And yeah, Cuba's in talks with the U.S. The president of Cuba is in talks with the U.S. right now. Uh, yeah, started talks with the communist island, trying to build a dialogue and find some common interest and agenda for the two parties to, negotiate. But well, tensions are still piling up as Trump's remarks the other day that he would be honored to take Cuba. Well, that's not going to help the dialogue here, and you can see why the Cuban president's a little bit frustrated that he wants to start a dialogue, but when there's sound bites like that coming out from the president, who really'd want to make a deal? Who would want to? I wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, screw you then. Let's start arming ourselves. And that Russian oil tanker that was supposed to be delivering crude oil to Cuba has turned around and it never got delivered to Cuba. So Cuba is still in a major energy crisis right now, with still major blackouts throughout the island. Yeah, besides some food aid coming from Canada going into Cuba, there has been no fuel or um, resources for them to keep their power plants up and running. Uh, and Australian news. This isn't good for Australia. I don't really normally get a lot of Australian news in here. They always seem to keep to themselves. But China has is going to be putting. Sorry. China has reached 50% of its annual quota of Australian beef this year, which has triggered the safeguards under its new Securities Act. So they're going to put an additional 55% tariff on any beef from Australia, and that will be imposed as of tomorrow, Friday. So yeah, farmers down in Australia, yeah, you might have to find alternative places for your beef to go. And what are we halfway? Yeah, we're not even halfway through the year, and China's already went through 50% of the quota of Australian beef. That's pretty crazy. And then South Korea's Walway Ocean. Okay, there's still this debate over this submarine program over Canada. Oh my goodness, I'm tired of talking about this. But South Korea's Hanwha Ocean had a submarine sitting at in Hawaii, the KSS-3, and it two Canadian naval submariners will be boarding the Hanwha KSS-3 from Hawaii and complete a journey to Canada to see what these subs are like. And then once the subs get here, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of more naval officers that are going to probably be looking over this sub to kind of see what they think of it at the end of the day. So yeah, South Korea really wants this sub deal, obviously, because trying to get as many Canadians in this sub and looking at it like hands on. So so yeah, that's interesting. I really hope that Canada goes with the Germany deal because there's pretty good deal with Norway and yeah, with Norway as well as part of that deal. Plus, Canada's done a lot of good deals with Germany and Norway here just in the last month. A lot of the discussions and stuff have to do with military contracts and military coordination with such projects. And oh, and there's a phone upgrade scam going around. So if you guys are getting phone calls from your cellular providers stating that, hey, you're available for a free phone upgrade, they're going to be either trying to sell you a new Samsung or a new Apple phone. Well, trying to give you one for free. This is just a ruse to start getting your personal information given to them. So yeah, be careful with that. I know one gentleman who has dealt with this already, but this seems to be a racket that's happening quite a bit just right now. A little bit of this happened last year, but it seems to be ramping up again here too. So if you guys are getting phone calls, and it'll show up as your cellular provider. These guys are good at what they do, and they'll make it seem like they're professional, but they aren't. The best thing to do is just call your cellular provider and see if you are available for a new upgrade on your phone. So yeah, you guys be careful of that. A lot of people are falling for that, considering the prices cell phones are very expensive right now. And Enbridge Energy in Canada here is funneling money into U.S. law enforcement in anticipation of protests against its Line 5 remote project. This is making people think about the depth of the company's influence in policing and law enforcement. Okay, so we have a Canadian company here that's starting to funnel money into policing to ensure the security of protests around pipelines that they're going to be digging. Hmm. So money does talk, obviously, but now it's getting to be questioned. Is this really legal? What's going on here? If a company can do that, what's to stop other companies from, sidling up with, the law enforcement? Here we'll give you we'll buy you some new body armor, or we'll pay for all your new guns. It doesn't. Conflict of interest. Let's say there's a big conflict of interest when it comes to stuff like that. Hmm. Oh, and yeah, that Russian tanker. In general, Neil McCaslin, yeah, he's still missing, blow, but there's new details. Apparently, there's a few people that were working under his management that have gone missing, and now there's reports of one of the guys who was working under him was shot and killed outside of his house. This is only 2 days after Trump announced that he was going to be releasing the UFO files. Still trying to find that guy's name. I read the article yesterday and I still can't find that guy's name, but I'm gonna dig into that a little bit more. And just sorry, as I was digging through the news, I found this thing and I had to write about it. I'm so sorry, you guys, for listening to this, but I hope you guys get a kick out of this. I did. So a Greenville, Kentucky man was arrested after a passing motorist driving on the highway sees a man making love to a deer carcass on the side of the road. He was arrested and then charged with sexual crimes against animals. When arrested, the man was covered in deer hair, and you could guess what else he was covered in. But listen to his charges, though. Sexual crimes against an animal. Well, the animal was already dead. It was hit by a car. Like, oh my goodness. Just imagine being the driver of the vehicle. I'd be like, is that guy really doing what I think he's doing? Was it Super Troopers where the guy is like doing the bear? Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so funny. So that's pretty much it for the news today, you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that, it's probably just BS anyways. So let's end everything off on things that happened today in history. March 26th, 1845, the first form of adhesive band-aid was invented. They just used like clay though. It wasn't a like actual like plastic adhesive or a latex adhesive. It was just clay. And March 26, 1812, a massive 7.7 earthquake hit Caracas, Venezuela, destroying 90% of the city, killing anywhere from 15 to 20,000 people. Wow. But that just goes to show like how far along we've come to dealing with, disasters and stuff like that. We'd never see devastation like that nowadays. And March 26, 1953, Dr. Jonas tested a vaccine to prevent polio with clinical trials uh, starting the following year. And then speaking of, what was it, Bangladesh? What was that guy saying? Oh, you said India. Okay. Da, da, da. March 26, 19, 1971, Bangladesh declares independence from Pakistan. Yeah, if you guys know about Pakistan and Bangladesh, yeah, they seem to like butt heads quite a bit, even though they're independent from each other, but they're still kind of together. But yeah, they don't really get along with each other very well. And then off to birthdays. March 26, 1973, age 53, Larry Page. He was one of the co-founders of Google. March 26, 1940, age 86, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the Senate in the U.S. there. Nancy Pelosi. You've probably heard the name, blah, blah, blah. I don't even want to talk about her anymore. She really just irks my skin. And then March 26th, 1944, age 82, Diana Ross, singer of the Supremes. Then March 26th, 1948, age 78, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Wow, 70. I can't believe he's still kicking. And then was it Keith Richards? I can't believe he's still kicking too. Like, man, they just look like a wreck. And plus all the drugs and stuff they did back then, they must just be pickled alive. Yeah, 78. And then March 26, 1950, Canadian actor and comedian Martin Short is 76 years old. Yeah, and that's it for birthdays. Well, at least birthdays that you people would probably know who they are. Anyone else? Meh. Meh. So how did we do today? 21 minutes, 30 seconds. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer is probably just BS. No Epstein bullshit. No. Let's dig into the real news, you guys. Yeah, this is what this channel's all about. So, I'll be back tomorrow for Friday's show. I'm not going to stick around. Yeah, maybe I'll stick around. I'll come back and at fourth in like 9 minutes. I'll come back and do a quick little live if you guys want to chat. I don't like to chat on here. I just basic facts. Be done with the news. Hit the like button. Subscribe. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, if something I messed up, you guys call me out on it. I like to be called out. You can call me wrong. I like it. That's what makes us as a people. To be called out and take it. Take it with a grain of salt. It takes a fair bit to curdle my milk. So, but or if there's something you guys want me to talk about, leave in the comments and stuff. I like to hear what you guys have to say, and I'm only in Canada. It's hard for me to find other stuff that's happening around the world. Like even me finding Australian news, pretty hard to find. But yeah, I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys on Friday. And unless you guys want to stick around, I'll be back in a few minutes. I just got to go have a cigarette and change the laundry over, and talk to you guys in a bit. See you guys tomorrow or in a bit. Oh.